here we are today talking about notes, vertical angles. This will be the last lesson for topic 10, so we're going to get ready to do some review pretty soon. The notes today, just the vertical angles. That's the one thing we really need to pay attention to here, and I find this topic can be pretty simple, but you have to be careful. The definition says that vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines and are opposite each other. Vertical angles have equal measures. So when I think about this, I think about two main bullets. I try to define this definition as easy as possible. That in order for something to be considered vertical angles, they must be opposite from each other and congruent, or we could say equal measure. So what they are showing you is that angle 1 and 3 are vertical angles, which means angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent. And then angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles, so they are equal each other. Okay, they share a vertex. Here, they share right here. This is where they intersect, and they're perfectly opposite each other. That if you were to take and fold angle 2 on top of angle 4, they would be equal. So question number 1 is asking for you to name the angle pairs that are vertical angles. So go ahead and pause the video and try to label two pairs that are vertical. Okay? I came up with angle 7 and angle 8 because if you look at angle 7 and 8, those angles are formed by two intersecting lines, and they happen to be directly opposite each other, and they appear to be equal. They appear to both be obtuse angles. If you said angle 1 and angle 2, they are not made by intersecting lines. If you have this line here, then you try to use this line that it makes up angle 2. If you try to extend that line, that does not make up angle 1. So angle 1 and 2 are not. And plus 1 looks like it's obtuse, definitely like really large, and the other one looks tiny. Same thing for 3 and 4. You've got this line that extends, but then the other line that makes up angle 4, if I extend that line, it does not make up angle 3. So the two lines don't intersect each other there. So only 7 and 8 and 5 and 6 would be considered vertical angles. So they're asking us on number 2 to name the angle that is vertical to angle ABC. So I'm going to go like this and put angle ABC, kind of highlight it as much as I can. So how I'm going to find the angle that is vertical to it is if I keep extending this line that off of AB, and I keep extending the line off of BC, then the angle RBW would be vertical to angle ABC. Number 3 is asking, can vertical angles be supplementary? And supplementary again means they add up to 180. So I'm thinking that if I have a straight line, and I go ahead and how would I intersect that? If I intersect it, if I kind of go at an angle like this, that doesn't seem like it would be, that I could be supplementary. So in order for me to have vertical angles add up to 180, vertical angles have to be equal. It have to be 90 degrees. This one would be 90, and this one would be 90. They would be opposite each other. Number 4, we're now going to use the concept of vertical angles to write an equation and solve for x. So you have a picture of a skier here, and he's showing that the angle on his ski right here is 140, and the angle on his ski over here is 4x plus 40. So they are saying that those are vertical angles because they're formed by the same intersecting lines. So those two things are equivalent to each other. So 4x plus 40 is equal to 140. So I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. I'm left with 100, divide by 4, and you get x equals 25. Okay? We will do one more together, then I'll have you go on and practice. Number 5 is asking you what is the value of x. And when I look at my diagram, I'm seeing that the 5x is listed on this angle right here. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend ty and extend that line this way, and I'm going to extend dy this way. So that tells me that 5x, the one that goes tyd, and one that is uyh, that tells me that those two angles are vertical to each other. So if those two angles are vertical to each other, and I know, I'm going to put in yellow here, that this angle is 90 degrees, and I already know that angle XYH is 40, that would then tell me that UYH is going to be 90 to minus 40 to get me 50 degrees. So since TYD is vertical to UYH, I can now set up my little equation that says TYD is equal to angle UYH. And if TYD is 5x, I can substitute that with 5x. And if UYH I've now figured out is 50, I can substitute that as 50. I can divide both sides by 5, and I will get x equals 10. Okay? I'm going to have you guys go on and try number 6. Okay, so I got a final answer of x equals 8, but I'm showing you two different ways that I looked at this problem. One is in blue and one is in green. Now, you can look at this and say that WJL, sorry, if I could get the letters right, but you could say that WJL, that is a straight line. So that would mean that this angle, and this angle, all three of those together add up to 180. So that's what I'm showing in blue. That 18 plus the 90 plus the 9x equals 180. Then I go through and I solve my equation, I get x equals 8. Or you could say that because you know that LJW is supplementary, is 180, and you know that this angle is already 90, that would tell you that 9x plus 18 has to be equal to 90. So you can do that way as well. The one other way that I can do this that I did not show you is that if this angle and this angle there, we know that those are vertical. So I don't know this angle right here, but I do know from this straight line that this is 90, this is 18. I can now figure out that what angle measure this is, and it's 72, because 72 plus 18 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. So you also could have an equation of 9x equals 72 to get the right answer. And the final part here says, your friend claims that vertical angles can be acute, right, or obtuse. So is your friend correct? So I am going to show you here that if you had two angles like this, that those would be your vertical angles, those would be obtuse. If you went like this, these two vertical angles would be acute. And we already practiced that you can have vertical angles that are right angles, so your friend is correct to say all three. Okay, thanks for watching. We will see you later.